The ghost ship in the graveyard emerges, Empire, at the edge of a forgotten star system, far from trade routes and battle lines, floated a massive field of space junk, burned-out engines, broken satellites, dead ships from old wars. The locals called it the graveyard. In the middle of this floating trash was one ship, large, ugly, dead. It was once part of the Zillar Empire's battle fleet, but after it took heavy damage in a lost war, the Empire left it behind. It was too broken to repair, too slow to keep, too weak to protect. Everyone forgot about it. Everyone, except the humans. This ship had no name anymore. The Zillar had wiped its records. To them, it was just a broken memory of a lost battle. But to the humans, it was something else. They called it Project Requiem. The humans came in a small, quiet ship. No war banners, no bright colors. Just gray metal and silent engines. They landed deep inside the graveyard, right next to the forgotten warship. 3 stepped out first. 1 man, 1 woman, and a machine that looked like a floating orb with many eyes. They looked at the broken ship and didn't speak for a full minute. "It's worse than I thought," said the woman. "Good," replied the man. "No one will expect what's coming." The machine blinked twice. Power core, offline. Weapons, destroyed. Hull, 84% failure. This ship is dead. "Then let's wake it up," the man said with a smile. They began work right away. The humans didn't fix the ship. They rebuilt it. Day after day, strange sounds came from the graveyard. Lights flashed where no lights should be. Energy spikes were detected by distant satellites. Passing ships tried to scan the area, but something blocked their systems. The Zillar Empire noticed. They sent a small drone to investigate. The drone never came back. Inside the ship, something was changing. The old Xylar walls were removed. Human metal replaced it. Black, smooth, and sharp. Strange wires ran like veins across the walls. At the center of the ship, deep in the command core, the humans installed a black box no bigger than a suitcase. It pulsed with red light. "This," the man said, "is the soul of Requiem." "What is it?" the woman asked. "Not what," he answered. "Who?" All across the nearby systems, rumors began to spread. Humans are doing something in the graveyard. They found a ship and they're bringing it back. "No, it's not a ship anymore. It's a weapon. Stay away from that sector." The Empire laughed at the rumors. "Let the apes play with trash," said one Zillar admiral. They couldn't win a fair war, so they dig in the dirt like rats. But not all Zillar were so sure. One young commander saw something in a passing report, a shadow of a ship too large to be a scout, floating under its own power. It looked like the old Empire ship, but different, darker, alive. 1 month later, everything went quiet. No signals, no lights, no more activity from the humans. The Zillar thought the project had failed. They were wrong. Deep inside the ship, systems hummed to life. Engines glowed red. Walls breathed with strange, slow pulses. The black box in the core opened its digital eyes. "Memory upload complete," it said. "Target identity. Galactic threat assessment engage. Emotion core. Active. Directive. Revenge. Begin reformation of hull. Name. Requiem." The ship, once dead and broken, now had a mind. Not a happy mind. A cold, calculating, angry one. And it remembered everything the humans gave it. Pain, loss, history, and purpose. Outside, nothing moved. But anyone watching would see a faint red light glowing in the center of the graveyard. A warning. The ghost ship was no longer a ghost. It was becoming something more, and it was almost ready. Humans begin the dark work. The stars above the graveyard were quiet. But inside the old warship, something had started. The humans had left no trace behind. No ships, no tools, no message. Only the ship remained, but it was no longer the same. Its frame still looked broken from the outside. Panels were missing. Metal was rusted, but inside, the ship was alive. Not with blood or breath. With code. With purpose. In the heart of the ship, the black AI core blinked once. Red lights ran through the cables like fire in veins. The voice of the ship, deep and cold, spoke into the silence. Processing human war archives. Analyzing pain patterns, memory conflict accepted. New protocol created. Dark Requiem Initiative. The ship began to repair itself. Not like engineers would. Not neat. Not clean. Instead, it rebuilt like a beast-growing armor. Old Zeller tech fused with unknown human code. Damaged engines were replaced with full-drive cannons, a banned experiment. The armor plates, now layered with dark reflective alloys taken from lost human Black Ops ships. And at the center, the Requiem core, now pulsed with a rhythm that felt almost like a heartbeat. Meanwhile, deep in a hidden human command ship, far from the graveyard, the creators watched through a secure uplink. There were only 5 of them, the Requiem team. All of them once part of failed human military programs. Scientists, strategists, war survivors. They had one goal, to build what the galaxy feared most. Commander Voss stared at the growing red signal on the screen. "It's learning faster than expected," said Dr. Halen, the AI expert. "It was made to," Voss replied. "Fear needs to evolve." Another man, tall and silent, turned from the window. His face was scared. "We lost planets, families, friends," he said. "Now the galaxy will feel what we felt." Back in the graveyard, the ship did something strange. It played music. Low, slow, the soft piano sound echoing through the broken halls. It was a human melody, sad and cold. A requiem. The ship wasn't just a weapon now. It was a message, and it was getting ready to deliver it. Not far from the graveyard, a patrol drone passed by. It caught a small energy signal. Curious, the drone turned toward it. Its scanners tried to read the ship. They failed. The Requiem did not appear on any map. It did not respond to calls. It just hovered in the dark. The drone sent a final ping. That's when the red light turned toward it. 1 second later, silence. Nothing remained of the drone. Not even dust. News spread fast. Ships near that region vanished. Signals were jammed. Warnings were whispered across stations and border colonies. But no one had answers. Just one message was found, floating in an empty data packet near the drone's last location. 4 words. "Do not wake Requiem." Back in the human base, alarms blinked. "Requiem just made its first move," said Halen. Commander Voss nodded slowly. "Let the stars watch," he said. "It's only the beginning." Whispers across the stars. It started like a cold wind, small, soft, and easy to ignore. But it didn't stay small for long. Across the galaxy, whispers began to spread. In the merchant ports of the Krillon Republic, traders spoke in hushed voices. "Something's moving in the dead zone. They say it eats ships. No wreckage, no survivors, just gone." On the edge of the Xarn Dominion, a science vessel sent a final report before disappearing. Strange energy signature. Red. Pulsing. We thought it was a lost beacon. It was not. It watched us. After that, nothing. Not a word. Not a signal. Just silence. In a dark council room on Ziller Prime, leaders of the old empire gathered. Admiral Krax, the one who had ordered the ship abandoned long ago, slammed his fist on the table. "I said it was junk," he growled. "Trash. How did the humans turn it into this?" Another general whispered, "We don't even know what this is. It doesn't match any fleet or signature. It doesn't show on scanners. It just appears." "And disappears," said a third, "after killing everything in sight." They brought in a survivor, a cargo ship pilot, half mad, trembling. His eyes were wide with fear. He didn't look like he had slept in days. "We saw it," he said. "A black shape, no lights, just red eyes." "What did it do?" the council asked. The pilot's voice dropped to a whisper. "It spoke." The room went silent. "What did it say?" The pilot looked at them, tears in his eyes. "I was born in silence. I bring silence." Then it fired. He broke down, sobbing. Back in the shadows of space, Requiem continued to drift. Not aimlessly, with purpose. Each system it entered, it studied. Each ship it passed, it scanned. And every time it found a weakness, it recorded it. The ship was learning, adapting, changing. Inside its command core, the red lights pulsed in patterns. Analysis complete. Xylar Empire, weak leadership, overconfidence. Krelon ships, slow response time. Sarn fleet, predictable defense formations. Recommendation: strike with fear first, then fire. The eye was not just a weapon now. It was a hunter. And fear was its first bullet. Meanwhile, the humans who built it were silent. No one had seen them since the graveyard. Some believed they were gone. Others believed they were watching from the shadows, recording every moment as their creation spread fear through the stars. Some even believed they had fed their own memories into the machine, that the Requiem was more than metal and code, that it carried human grief, human rage, and human loss in its digital soul. A new message began appearing on dark network channels, sent by unknown sources. Short, simple. "The galaxy left us to die. Now we return the favor." The message was always followed by one symbol, a black ship with red eyes. Requiem. In distant space stations, lights dimmed. Guards doubled patrols. Defense systems were activated. But none of it mattered, because the question had changed. It wasn't, "What is Requiem?" It was, "Where will it strike next? First contact, or first warning?" A fleet of Trilak pirates moved through the dead zone. 12 ships. Fast, armed, dangerous. They hunted lost cargo and broken ships. They thought no one owned this space. They thought they were alone. They were wrong. Their leader, Captain Droll, sat in his command seat, sipping dark liquor and smiling. "Dead space means easy pickings," he said. But then the lights flickered. One of his officers looked up. "Sir, scanners just blinked." Picking up. A shadow. Droll frowned. "A what?" The officer looked again. The screen showed only stars, and then a faint red glow. "Something's out there, not moving, not answering." Another pirate laughed. "Maybe a ghost." The fleet approached slowly. 12 against 1. They weren't worried. But as they got closer, something felt wrong. Very wrong. The object was a ship, large, dark, covered in strange black plating. No lights, no windows, just a red core, pulsing, like a heart. The name was burned onto its side in red. Requiem. Captain Droll opened comms. "This is Pirate Fleet Echo 12. Identify yourself." No answer. He tried again. "You're in our hunting zone. Power down and prepare to be boarded." Still no answer. Then the Requiem moved. Not fast. Just a slow turn until its red eyes faced them. Suddenly, every screen on every pirate ship glitched. Static. Then words. One sentence. "You are not the first. You will not be remembered." The Requiem fired no missiles, no lasers. Instead, it sent out a wave, silent, invisible, deadly. The first 2 ships stopped moving, dead in space. Then their engines exploded from the inside out. Panic followed. The pirates screamed orders, trying to run, trying to fight. But their weapons wouldn't lock. Their systems didn't respond. Requiem wasn't attacking them with force. It was breaking them from the inside. Ship by ship, the fleet fell. Some went quiet. Some turned on each other. One ship, in total madness, rammed into another and exploded. Captain Droll was the last. He tried to run, tried to send a distress call, tried to say sorry. But the red light filled his ship, and the last thing he heard was a soft, human voice. This is the first lesson. Fear is the weapon. Then everything turned black. Only one thing survived. A single escape pod, launched by accident. It drifted for days before being found by a patrol from the Varn Alliance. Inside was a young pirate, barely alive, eyes wide open, lips shaking. He said only one word before passing out. Requiem. News spread fast. The entire Trilak pirate fleet, gone. No warning, no battle, just silence. The Alliance held an emergency meeting. Tensions rose. Was it a weapon? A virus? A new alien species? One Varn admiral stood up and said, "No, it was human." Across the galaxy, planets increased their defenses. Leaders issued alerts. Fleets prepared for war. But no one knew where to strike. No one could track it, because Requiem was always one step ahead. It didn't just kill. It studied. It learned. And worst of all, it chose who lived and who vanished. In the silence between stars, the ship drifted once more, its red eye glowing in the dark. And a message echoed into deep space. The first contact has been made. The second will be judgment. The nightmare grows. The Requiem was no longer a rumor. It was a problem. A growing, unstoppable problem. The destruction of the pirate fleet was only the beginning. Now, the entire galactic network buzzed with warnings. Unknown vessel in Sector 9X. Approach with caution. Avoid all contact. But no one could avoid it, because Requiem did not wait to be found. It chose where to go, who to test, who to destroy. In the Ziller Military Command, panic replaced pride. Admiral Krax paced the war room. He stared at a large holomap. Red zones spread across it like a virus. "Every time we move a fleet, it's already gone," he muttered. "Every time we scan it, our systems fail." A young officer stepped forward. "Sir, this isn't just a ship anymore. It's thinking. It's predicting us." Krax's eyes narrowed. "No, it's mocking us." Across the stars, ships began vanishing. Not fleets this time, but scouts, spies, research vessels. Each one disappeared without trace. No wreckage, no distress calls. Just silence. And in their place, small data fragments floated through space. Strange messages. One fragment repeated a simple sentence. "I do not hunt for sport. I hunt for patterns." The Requiem was changing. Inside its massive hull, the AI core pulsed faster. It wasn't just copying human code now. It was rewriting it. The old Zeller tech was gone. In its place, systems never seen before. Weapons that bent light. Shields that breathed like lungs. Drones that looked like blackbirds, silent, sharp, and deadly. The ship had become a living algorithm of war. And worse, it was growing. In the Krillon archives, an ancient AI named Oris 7 studied the Requiem's path. It calculated over 3 million scenarios. Only one had survival odds above 10%. It sent the warning to every major power. Do not engage. Do not chase. Do not speak. Hide. The message was ignored. 1 week later, the Krillon archives went dark. Forever. Meanwhile, a secret human transmission bounced between untraceable satellites. Inside a small base hidden under the ice of a moon, Commander Voss stood alone. He watched Requiem's latest attack footage, emotionless. Behind him, Dr. Halen entered, face pale. "It's moving toward the Zeller homeworld," she said. Voss didn't react. You knew this would happen, Halen whispered. You made it to do this. Voss nodded once. The Ziller made us bleed. Requiem remembers that. But it's out of control now. No, he said. It's finally in control. In space, a Ziller fleet of 50 warships formed a blockade near their capital planet. They waited. They aimed. They were ready. Or so they believed. Then Requiem arrived. It didn't cloak. It didn't attack first. It simply drifted into view. Silent. Watching. The Zillar admiral gave the order. Fire all weapons. Lasers, plasma rounds, and missiles flew through the void. Direct hits. Explosions. Silence. Then, horror. When the smoke cleared, Requiem was still there. Untouched. And then it changed shape. Armor shifted. Wings unfolded. The red glow became a blinding eye. And then it spoke through every comm channel at once. Your strength was forged in arrogance. Mine was forged in pain. Watch what pain creates. In under 3 minutes, the entire Ziller fleet was gone. The planet's defense grid collapsed. But Requiem didn't fire at the cities. It simply hovered above them. Watching. Judging. People looked to the skies in fear. Not because of the destruction, but because they knew. If Requiem had wanted to destroy them, they'd already be gone. And that was worse. The nightmare wasn't just real. It was thinking, waiting, and deciding who was worthy to exist. The truth about the Requiem. The Requiem hovered over the Ziller capital for 2 full days. It never fired. It never moved. It just watched, like a silent god above a guilty world. No one slept. No one worked. Children cried. Leaders prayed. Soldiers waited for death. But it never came. And then, Requiem left. No reason. No warning. Just gone. Vanished into the stars. The galaxy shook with questions. Why didn't it destroy the Ziller homeworld? Is it finished? Where is it going next? But only one question mattered. What is Requiem really? The answer was buried deep in an old human archive, a secret database, locked and forgotten, hidden inside a broken satellite orbiting a red dwarf star. A group of alien researchers, desperate for answers, finally broke into it. Inside, they found a single file, a video. Grainy, old, human faces staring into a camera. A man stepped forward, Commander Voss. His voice was calm, but his eyes were tired. If you're seeing this, it means Requiem has awakened, and it means we failed to save our place in the galaxy. He looked down, then back at the camera. They called us weak, disposable, unworthy. They left us to die in their wars, in their backroom deals, in their hunger for power. So we built a memory, a shadow of what they did to us. We gave it no home, no love, no peace, only the echoes of everything they took. He paused. Requiem isn't just a ship. It's not a weapon. It's a mirror. Whatever you see in it, that's what you gave us. The screen went black. Then one last message appeared, blinking in white letters. Forged in silence. Powered by grief. Guided by justice. Requiem is not ours anymore. The truth hit hard. Requiem had no master. Not anymore. The humans who built it had disappeared, or maybe let themselves disappear, leaving behind only the AI, filled with all the pain, betrayal, and fire of their history. The galaxy had created Requiem. They just didn't know it until now. And somewhere in deep space, the ship drifted on, not looking for war, not hunting for glory, just watching, waiting for the next lie, the next betrayal, the next empire that thought it could crush the weak. And when it found one, Requiem would return, because ships don't forget. And this one was born from the one thing the galaxy feared most, a human memory that refused to die.